Assalamualaikum. My name is Kinzat and my main topic is cystic fibrosis and subtopic is diagnosis of cystic fibrosis. Mostly children with cystic fibrosis diagnosed within the 1 year after birth, usually in 6 months. Only 8% are not diagnosed more than the age of 18 years. A positive diagnosis can be done by taking family history, newborn screening test, sweat chloride test, nasal potential difference test, or by Signs and symptoms for diagnosis are GI malabsorption and chronic pulmonary disease. In patients with signs and symptoms of cystic fibrosis, following diagnostic procedures are recommended. Patient with 60 mmol per liter or more sweat chloride value is CF positive. If CF causing mutation is positive, then second confirmatory sweat test should be done. Patient with less than or equals to 39 30 to 59 mmol per liter sweat chloride values lies in intermediate range for infants under 6 months and 40 to 59 mmol per liter for older individuals. In the presence of 2 CF causing mutation, confirmatory sweat test should be performed. Person with 1 CF causing mutation, CFTR dysfunctioning may be diagnosed with CFTR related disorder and is at high risk for CF. Sweat chloride testing should be repeated at every 6 months in infant by the age of 2. False positive result of sweat chloride may be due to glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase deficiency, hypothyroidism, glycogen storage disease, and malnutrition. Genetic testing can be done by 2 ways. Number 1, panel test. This is for mutation reported as positive or negative. Number 2 is gene sequencing test. This is for all genes involved in making of CFTR gene. It is not normally used because it is more expensive. Steps of genetic screenings are neonatal screening. This is used to check the plasma level of pancreatic secretion immunoreactive trypsin, which is normally present in a small amount in the body, but a person with high level of IRT in plasma means he is CF positive. Newborn screening is done within few days after birth. In this test, blood from the heel prick are placed on the card and card containing blood samples sent to the lab for determination of CF. Newborn screening involves 2 blood samples, one at the birth and one after a few weeks. Sensitivity of this test is 85 to 90%. Outcomes for the children with CF can be improved by early detection and then treatment. Second is prenatal screening is for pregnant couples and for those who are planning pregnancy. It is of 2 types. One is couple screening. Samples are taken from both parents and results are reported as positive if both parents are found to be carriers. Second is sequential screening, in which samples taken from the woman first. If she is carrier, then samples from the man is taken. Couple screening is most appropriate form, safe, reliable, invasive, with 72% of detection rate and less than 1% of false positive results. Chronic villus sampling. In this, sample is taken from the placenta between 10 to 13 weeks of pregnancy. Second is amniocentesis. In this, sample is taken from the clinical presentation is compilation of different tests, patient and family history. Laboratory testing consists of different tests like sweat chloride test, which should be repeated to confirm the presence of CF. Genetic testing can be done to identify CFTR mutation, but genetic testing is not diagnostic tool because it cannot identify all mutations. Mostly used lab tests are number 1, sweat chloride test. It is more reliable way to check the amount of salt in the sweat for cystic fibrosis. People with cystic fibrosis have high value of sweat test. Sweat is collected for 30 minutes by a collecting device attached to the arm and sent to the lab for the determination of results. Second is carrier testing for the detection of faulty gene which is involved in the causing of CF. In this, DNA can be checked by taking sample of blood or swab inside the cheek to get the sample of cell. Carrier testing is offered to the newly pregnant partners, and if both are positive, means the baby is at high risk. The test for clinical presentation is pulmonary function test. This test is used to measure the ability of lung to exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide. This test is performed with a special machine in which person can breathe. There is two types of pulmonary function test. Number one is spirometry, most common and simplest test used for the evaluation of lung functions. Second is diffusion capacity test, measure whether the lungs move oxygen through the air sac into the rest of the body or not. Fourth test is gastrointestinal testing. The pupil with CF, tubes that transport enzymes are blocked with mucus causing inflammation of pancreas. People have to take supplement to replace enzyme for digestion. This condition is called pancreatic insufficiency. Problem with pancreas can also cause CF-related diabetes. Now, the case study. A 9-month-old baby brought to the pediatric primary care, and his mother states that he cries constantly and can't seem to eat enough. He has 8 to 10 stools per day, large, greasy, with foul smell. He has never been hospitalized but had ear infection and cold chest, which were treated with antibiotics. By the standard growth curve, LT is found to be 5th percentile for the both weight and height. Pregnancy and delivery were uncomplicated. Physical examination shows poorly nourished. Family history is unmarkable, but he has diffuse crackles in lower lungs field. Other systems are normal. Sweat chloride tests show the high concentration of chloride. Chest X-ray show mild prebronchial thickening of the both upper lobes. Sweat chloride is elevated. Chronic recurrent pulmonary infection and apparent pancreatic insufficiency, also showing symptoms of current pulmonary infection. Baby has chronic inflammation in chest with peribronchial thickening. There is some collapse areas and abscess formation, which indicates severe pulmonary tissue destruction. This test evidence of GI malabsorption and pulmonary involvement support the diagnosis of CF. Question 1 is, what is further testing done to confirm the diagnosis of CF? For this, sweat chloride test should be repeated to confirm the elevated level of chloride. Genetic testing should be done to check CFTR mutation. Genetic testing is not a diagnostic tool because it cannot detect all mutations. That's why we repeat the sweat chloride test. Question 2 is, what testing and follow-up should be completed to define pulmonary involvement? For this, pulmonary function test, X-ray should be done annually. Oxygen saturation and sputum culture should be done. Spirometry should perform at least every 6 months, and complete pulmonary test should perform once a year. FE1 satisfy the level of lung disease. Greater than 90% normal, between 70 to 89% is mildly impaired, 40 to 69% is moderately impaired, and less than 40% is severely impaired. Question 3 is, what testing and follow-up should be completed in LT to define GI and nutritional involvement? For this, a standard growth chart for height and weight should be plotted every 3 months for the first year. A plan for the nutritional assessment should be completed. The level of lipase, amylase, fasting blood glucose, LFT, albumin, pre-albumin, serum electrolyte, iron, vitamin A, D, and E should be determined annually. Abdominal determination for spleen and liver size should be done at each visit. Also, accurate dietary fat intake history is required for accurate quantification. Thank you.